take your time.
So describe to me, what is Twittamentary?
Twittamentary is actually a crowdsourced film of Twitter user stories. You know, you basically every user, every character in the film feels the request of telling one story, one great story about the most interesting thing that happened to them because of Twitter. So it's interesting because of the collaborative nature. It's open source, and anyone could have taken part. I think it's also interesting for a lot of people because of they hear. I think for the first time in the film, they see a whole range of personal Twitter stories. I think people hear a lot about Twitter in the news, but it's a perspective that's unusual, you know.
Why did you choose Twitter and not Facebook or any other media?
I think from a very personal point of view, I think I'm more into Twitter than Facebook. I think it's because I find that I've learned more about the web, the social web from Twitter, because I think a lot of my friends on Twitter are very early adopters, advanced users. So I'm more fascinated by its possibilities than Facebook. I think the other reason is also that it's actually not. I don't think it's possible to make a film about Facebook in this way, and it has to do with subculture. When I first started work on the Twitter film, one of the things that struck me was that to succeed in making a film of Twitter, it's not just about telling a conventionally good story. You have to make the film in a way that resonates with the subculture of Twitter. As in, people can really see, oh, this person actually knows Twitter, uses Twitter, gets Twitter, before it will be embraced, I think, by the community. So I just don't think that the kind of the open culture, collaborative, crowdsourcing way happens easily on Facebook. I almost imagine that if I were to go on a road trip across America and post updates on Facebook, my friends would be saying, why don't you get a budget? Stop embarrassing yourself, come stay with me in Iowa, stop going across the country. You could be robbed, you could be kidnapped. I really do imagine that people will start saying that, because it doesn't resonate with the subculture on Facebook to be doing something like that. So,
how important is the audience interaction bit for this movie?
What do you think? Do you think that is important?
I mean, you have it pretty present on a screen, but does it actually do anything?
I think that it is something that makes sets the experience apart from just any old movie screening, because I think it's something that people do in private. Like if you are watching a football game or a soccer game, or you're watching your favorite sitcom and you are eating potato chips with 3 friends, you do that, you chit chat, and you interrupt one another and things like that. But somehow our movie going culture suppresses that. We are taught never to do that. It's too rude. It's too distracting. I just think that I think in terms of Twitter, it can enhance the experience of watching the film, because you kind of plug into this conversation and to this vibe about the film. And the vibe for each screening is different. At some screenings, people tweet a lot. Like in LA, we're trending, a trending topic in LA. Some screenings, people don't tweet very much, because maybe people are not on Twitter as much and they don't feel comfortable tweeting. Some of the Twitter conversations are hilarious. As in people will be laughing not just at the film but also at the tweets that come up, and some of it is quite thoughtful and insightful. So it's a wide range, yeah.
Do you think that Twitter and crowdsourcing is a threat to traditional journalism?
I don't think it is. I think it's a threat to. I don't think it is. I think it's a threat to the business model of journalism. I think that it has a role within the ecosystem and value chain. I think it's trying to, over time, people are starting to understand that it can help gather first-hand information or material. I think what is unclear is what it does to revenue models, business models. I think for the very simple reason that when a lot of the value of content hinges on scarcity. So when something is no longer scarce, whether it's like video material or eyewitness reports, then the value of that thing drops. But I think as there's more noise on the internet, I think journalists are emerging as curators. I think one very good example is Andy Carvin from who basically acted as made a great contribution as a journalist by curating tweets from Egypt. And I think that's something that we could never traditionally imagine. It's like, oh, you gathered text messages from Egypt and rebroadcasted, and that's journalism, But it is, because if you can actually make sense of it and contextualize it, then yeah, it is journalism. Because it's the making meaning of that I feel is a very high value of journalism, not just gathering raw data, and that's a skill. Not everyone has it. So.
Where's Twitter going? Are there any limits?
Where's Twitter going? Oh God, that's a very hard question. I don't know. I don't know where Twitter is going. I feel that Twitterers have always done whatever they wanted. It's kind of whatever happens to Twitter, people kind of curate their own network and they keep going because they find an interesting group of friends. Let me repeat that. I think no matter where Twitter is going, Twitterers have a way of hanging on to their experience and hanging on to the social networks that they have curated for themselves. I think the larger question is probably, how it's going to scale, whether this kind of subculture can scale. I think over the past 2 years, it's actually proven to be quite resilient. As in, people seem to be able to make their way through the chaos. So I'm hopeful that Twitter will still be around in a couple of years or so. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.